What is beauty? A concept? An abstraction? An emotion? Sometimes an instant that feels like an eternity. A secluded corner inside of us, roused by the wind, or the smell of the sea, or by a song coming from afar. No matter how or when it comes to us, it's always a captivating moment when our heartbeat matches the beat of the universe, and we discover that we can impact the world by spreading our affection for the landscape that we've carried within us since we were born. And so there's no need for fences. We need only respect and awareness, and the kind of reverence reserved for the wisest and eldest of us. Because we are the keepers. What is beauty? Beauty is our responsibility.
Love that video. It's one of my favorite Divinus videos.
It's a great one. It's definitely one of my favorite as well. Thank you, Sunny, so much for putting together such a great presentation for everybody. I hope that everybody gets to benefit from it as much as I have. So from that being said, I'm going to hand it over to Sunny, and thanks once again, everybody, for joining us. Thanks again, Sunny.
Awesome. Of course. Thank you all so much for joining today, and for taking the time out of your day, from setting some time aside from behind the chair or whatever it is that you had going on today. Thank you for being here with us, and to kind of share a little bit of a different way to look at NaturalTech. So we're going to get right into it. Today will be anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour long. What I would like to request from all of you is, the name of the class is actually From the Dossier to the Chair. And the reason why that's the name is because with NaturalTech, we've got to get to a point where we can take all of the beautiful and quite extensive information that's available in the technical dossier and take it and put it into action and put it into use. So that's what this class is about. This class is very close to my heart because it revolves around my experience with NaturalTech. And I hope that after this class, truly the goal of this class is so that we're all aware of the service dollars that are available to us in NaturalTech. I see it sometimes sitting on the shelf or at the back bar, and you know, people are just using it for normal shampoo and conditioners, and it's a very big missed opportunity if that's the way that we're using it. And that was the way that I was using it at first. We got it into our salon. It was on the back bar, and no one was really sure how it was supposed to be used, when it was supposed to be used, and ultimately when to pay attention to how your clients are asking for services. Maybe we're not really listening. Maybe we are so busy that trying to add in color services or haircuts, blow dries, things like that to increase our service dollars, that we're missing an opportunity with treatments. Everyone loves to get a treatment. I have a friend who's in an industry, who's in our industry, and she shared with me that one of the last kind of at register purchases with the company that she works with is a hair conditioning treatment. So everyone wants their hair to be healthier. Everyone wants their hair to be stronger. Some want their hair to not go away. Some would like for their hair to be longer. So today, what we're going to talk about is ultimately what to listen for and how you can sustain yourself better as a hairdresser and a colorist behind the chair by utilizing NaturalTech and getting used to having that process and the thought process of where NaturalTech can fit in without a client even really having to ask for a treatment. So before we get started, I want to share these two pictures with you all. These pictures are, when I see them, I think, oh man, there's so much connected to this. And we're going to come back to these pictures at the end, but I want everybody to see the house. And then this was a picture of me a few years ago when I changed my life a bit. And I was able to do this pretty much because of the information that I'm going to share with you all. So before we get started, I want to remind everyone and just mention that this is not an ingredients class. This is not a product knowledge class. All of the information that you would need as far as ingredients and how the products are used are in the technical dossier and also available on Davinus.com, Davinus Professional, Davinus Pro, any of our platforms that contain product knowledge information. You can get that simple information there. What this class is about is what do you do with that information once you have it, and how do you put it into practice? So this entire line, when I look at it, for me, you all, I see dollar signs. And I see dollar signs because of the relationship that I built with NaturalTech, because of the performance that it gave my clients, and because of the way that this line truly was able to change their experience with their scalp and their hair. Someone said to me years ago, your hair is the only accessory that you have to manage every day. You have to wear it and you have to approach it in some way. For some of us, that's really easy, you know, but for other people, that can be a very emotional process. And NaturalTech is designed to handle pretty much any anomaly or any situation with the scalp and the hair. And not just in a pretty package and in a beautiful way of the information being presented, but in its performance of the formulas and of the ingredients. I think that we all at this point know that NaturalTech is based on phytoceuticals, which have an antioxidant, anti-free radical, anti-inflammatory effect. And then in some of the products, there's also different complexes that are kind of like a progression of the phytoceutical idea. So we know that these products work. We know that our clients are wanting to take the best care of their hair and scalp. So why aren't we using it? Where are we missing something? Because something might be missing. So let's talk about it. The biggest thing I hear when I talk about NaturalTech, because I talk about NaturalTech at any opportunity that I can possibly be afforded, but I hear a lot, well, they don't want a treatment. Are you sure? Did you ask? How did you ask? Did you just say, oh, do you want to do a treatment today? Because that doesn't translate. A treatment for what? What's wrong? So listening to your client and listening to the questions that they're asking may open up this whole different world for you to better connect and better be able to take care of your client when they're in the salon. So a couple of things to look for. How's it looking up there? How many of you guys have had your male clients or female clients ask, how's it looking up there? What they're asking is, am I losing hair up there? They're noticing that there has been some type of hair loss. My dad started losing his hair, right? They're letting you know that they're concerned about losing their hair because their father started losing their hair. I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm losing a lot of hair. This side feels thinner, right? Do hair growth products really work? That's a sign right there that someone is interested in purchasing hair growth products because they're losing their hair. They're expressing their curiosity. And as their hairdresser, they're looking for guidance from you. I always start losing hair when school starts, right? I think we'll have a little bit of that too with just the stress of going back to school, maybe for the students and maybe even for the parents. I lost so much hair when I had my child. Maybe it's that they are planning on having another child and they don't want to lose the hair that they lost with their first one. My hair just doesn't feel as thick as it used to feel. So all of these things are starting points. They're questions that are opening up the door for you to be able to step in and help them. If any of these questions have ever been asked or any of these comments have ever been asked to you and your follow through was not energizing, then you missed an opportunity to better take care of your client, but also to know that you are able to provide that type of service and get the service dollars from that type of service. So with energizing, this is a system that your client would need to go on. You go on it for a certain amount of time and then off of it, so your system kind of stays in shock with it. But for this service, if you integrate the massages that are available through NaturalTech, then you can provide a completely different environment for your client. When I used to do the massages on my clients, other clients in the salon would look over and ask, what is that client having done? My male clients who came in every 3 weeks, even though this line is meant to be used on a regular basis to where they would need to go home with it with the retail, they still requested the energizing treatment because they loved the extra time. They loved the massage that was given at the shampoo basin. And I would also serve like a cinnamon tea to kind of reflect what the action of the product was. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with the treatment to really make it exceptional and to give them a service that they're going to ask for every time. So I would do the shampoo, which takes no additional time, maybe a 5-minute massage instead of the normal 2. And then when we got back to the chair, I chose the appropriate product then to go on, whether it's the seasonal superactive for stress and seasonal hair loss, the superactive, which is more towards hormonal and different forms of alopecia, the thickening tonic, which has the ability of increasing the hair fiber by 5%. So not only is the thickening tonic great for someone who's losing hair, but it's great for someone who wants to increase the fiber of their hair to feel like they have fuller, thicker, stronger hair. And then the gel, of course, is preventative. So all of these products would be an answer to any of these questions or any of these comments. Okay. Then you have the clients where their scalp is terrible, but as a stylist, we might not want to say anything because it might embarrass them. If we don't say anything, then who's going to help them? They may not be asking us about it because they have tried everything that they have thought of or maybe even been prescribed by their doctor and just decided to give up on it. You know, nothing's working. So I'm not even going to talk about it anymore. There's no solution to this issue. Truly, truly, I as a call to action for you all would push you to ask yourself, what's the type of care that you want to provide to your clients? Because all of us know that our client relationships are built on a couple of different things: the service, how well we're treated when we come into the salon, the salon environment, right? How the salon makes us feel, how we like our hair cut, our color, right? But there's also a key component, and that is trust in the hairdresser and knowing that the hairdresser can accommodate and can bring their dream of their hair to a reality. And the issues that you would require a treatment for are not outside of that trust building. So if you want to take the absolute best care of your client, then we have to start talking about some of the issues that might not be as comfortable, like dandruff. If you're doing a thorough consultation and you're walking through, taking a look at their scalp, looking at their hair, touching base on if they've had any type of dietary changes, medication changes, anything like that, those can all be parts of a consultation. You can assure them to answer only what you're comfortable with, but for me to get a better idea of your hair and what we're able to do for you and what we're able to accomplish, please be as open with me as possible and really ask them some questions. If you're noticing that they have dandruff on their scalp, then you can point it out in a way of, you know, your scalp looks a bit irritated. I'm noticing a little bit of dandruff. Does this bother you? Is your scalp sensitive? You know, has anyone ever brought this to your attention before? Because I believe I might be able to help you. That starts an entire different conversation, and it builds an entirely different strength and trust between you and your client. The Purifying family has an antiseptic ability. There's a shampoo and also a gel. Again, we're not going to get into ingredients and how to use because you can read that in many different ways. But I want to share something with you all about these two products. When I was in Northern California, I was teaching a class, and I was doing a class on technique, a hair technique, and a coloring technique. And the manager of the salon came to me and she said, "Hey, your model today is my daughter, and she has really, really bad dandruff. But please don't say anything to her about it because she's being bullied about it at school. We've done everything we can possibly think of, including prescriptive shampoos from her doctor, and it's just not going away. So please don't bring it up because she's really sensitive about it." And when I started to diagnose her hair to get ready for the color service that I was going to do, that I was demoing that day, her scalp was in very bad condition. I know that it was probably painful for her in some areas. And I could certainly see why it was instructed, you know, to me to not mention it. So I did the color service. I did some highlights. And when I took her back to the shampoo bowl, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to shampoo her with Purifying because I had it with me in my kit. And I am going to put the gel on her scalp. And then I just needed to tone her ends. So I did that at the same time. 10 minutes, she's done. When I rinsed the gel and when I rinsed the toner off of the ends, it was almost like the top layer of her scalp was released. And I actually had to take a fine-tooth comb to comb what had been released from her scalp out through her links in hair. Because dandruff is a fungus. And so it grows around the hair strand on the scalp. We have maybe been misguided or have misunderstood what dandruff is, and thinking that it's little white flakes on your shoulders, or, you know, if you scratch your scalp and you see white flakes, that's dry scalp. Dandruff is very different. You can have oily dandruff or you can have dry dandruff. Dry dandruff is more scaly. Oily dandruff, it was explained to me by someone, and I think he's actually on the call. I'm not going to call you out, but it was explained to me by someone at one time, and it never left my mind. It was described as a wet cornflake if you have oily dandruff. And that truly, you guys, as hard as that is to imagine, and we may not have that for breakfast anymore after this class, but that truly is what the oily dandruff looks like. It tends to cluster and build up on the scalp. The oil actually provides what the fungus can eat and live on and grow from. So it becomes this kind of cycle. And the Purifying family has the ability to address both dry and oily dandruff. So what had happened when I applied the shampoo and then the gel was that it was able to remove all of that dandruff that was on her scalp. And when I took her back to the chair and she saw her scalp, she started crying, and I thought, oh no, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But she was like, what did you put on my scalp? My scalp hasn't looked like this in years. What did you do? Because it's gone. And I said, I just used something that might help what was going on. And she jumped up out of the chair. She went to show her mom, completely changed this girl's life. I asked her if, I gave it to her. I gave her the shampoo and the gel, and I asked her to keep in touch with me, to let me know when it came back, where it came back, how many times she had to use it to manage the dandruff. I got a call from her about 6 weeks later that she had a little area behind her right ear that had come up about the size of a nickel. And then I got another call from her. And so she just did a spot treatment with it. I got another call from her a couple months later that she had just another little area, but then I didn't hear from her again. So I share that story with you all because if you have clients that have dandruff, they have probably tried every single thing that they could over the counter. They may or may not have had a conversation with their doctor. Some of these dandruff shampoos and medications can be quite expensive depending on where you live and what's covered. So usually most people just give up on the conversation. So when you notice that someone has dandruff, please do not be embarrassed or feel awkward in bringing it up. This product in Purifying, I have seen it make a huge difference in someone's day-to-day life and their confidence. Because again, our hair is something that we have to deal with every day. And if you're fighting something like dandruff, it can be quite embarrassing. So if there is a remedy out there that can help resolve the issue, this I would consider being one of the best ones based upon my experience with it. And I would encourage all of you to open up that conversation so that you can bring that, there's no other word other than like joy in her face when she realized that it had worked, that you can bring that to your client. You can do this as a treatment in the salon. It doesn't take very long at all. And you can send them home with the shampoo and the gel, have the conversation about it in the consultation and say, I will do your first treatment for you. And then, send them home with the shampoo and gel for them to use at home. So it doesn't take long at all. It's just a shampoo. The gel stays on for maybe 10 minutes and then it's rinsed out and you can condition the links and ends however you like. So another thing that I found an opportunity with is that I had all these clients that were coming in and saying, oh, I'm doing this detox, I'm doing a juice cleanse, I'm doing, whatever. I'm doing intermittent fasting. I'm on I don't know how many of you remember the, was it like the cayenne lemonade diet where you did like lemons, water, and cayenne pepper, and that's all you drank for, I don't know how long. I never did it. I can't go that long without food. But our clients are constantly doing those things to detox. We detox our skin. When you look at skincare lines, Comfort Zone, right, with Davinus, there's all these different detoxifying creams, detoxifying masks, things like that. So why aren't we detoxifying our hair? If we're detoxifying our bodies, if we're detoxifying our organs and our skin, what about our hair? So these are opportunities where you can have this conversation of, I just started a juice cleanse. I started a new skin regimen. I just got back from vacation and I spent the whole time in the pool and ocean, lucky them. but there are some things that need to be addressed with what could have possibly happened with their hair during that time. I quit smoking, right? So all of the things that are in cigarette smoke will end up on your hair and build up. I'm finally off that medication that was giving me the horrible reaction. I think we've all had a client where they're on maybe some heavy medication, and when we apply color or we do any kind of bleaching, there could be maybe a little reaction, because especially if it's heart medication or thyroid medications, because those are directly living in the blood system and therefore coming out even more in the hair. So if someone's off of a specific medication and they mention that, it's the perfect time to do a detoxifying treatment. And for people that just say, my hair just feels blah, like it just feels like there's something on it, right? So all of these opportunities are designed to steer you into that conversation of, great, you're doing a juice cleanse? Awesome, we're gonna detoxify your hair today. We're gonna detoxify your scalp and your hair. You start a new skin regimen? Great, it's the perfect time to detoxify your hair and scalp and get you on a new shampoo and conditioning regimen as well, because the skin and scalp are directly connected. They are one, right? Getting back from vacation, great. Let's get the chlorine, the algae, the salt, all of those things out of your hair today, and so on and so forth. So with detoxifying, this treatment is mostly done in the salon, because it isn't something that you would use every single day. So it's a great opportunity for people, you know, to come in maybe a week or two before they're having their color done and to guide them in that. You wouldn't want to do the detoxifying mud the same day as a color service. And here's why. The detoxifying mud is a mineral mud. So it uses the minerals to help to detoxify your hair and to pull impurities from your hair. If you were to color after a detoxifying mud treatment, the color could have a metallic sheen to it because the pigments and the minerals are functioning together and trying to find space together. So just be aware of that. And it could be a conversation that you have with your client where, okay, great, you know, you're a swimmer or you're in the lake. I live on one of the Great Lakes. So, you know, we have a lot of people who are in the lake every day. People who have swimming pools at home, people who live near the ocean and they're swimming a lot in the summer. So what I want you to do is in between each color service, why don't you come in and we'll do a detoxifying treatment. And for people who have really bad mineral deposits and issues with toxic minerals and things being on their hair, you can actually require them to come in for a detoxifying treatment in between. And I'll talk a little bit more about that with nourishing. So with detoxifying scrub shampoo, it literally has jojoba beads and silica that creates a scrub on the scalp. So we'll refer back to that a couple of times with some of the other families. And then with the detoxifying mud, it goes from the scalp all the way to the links and ends. And it really has the ability to pull impurities out of the hair so much to where you can almost smell what's being removed from the hair. So it's similar to like a mud detoxifying bath that you would have at a spa, but it's for your hair. So anyone who goes to the spa lot for detoxifying mud baths, you could certainly recommend the detoxifying mud for them as well. I don't know when to use calming, right? We hear that a lot. I'm sure you guys hear that too. I don't have anything going on with my scalp. Well, do you? Maybe you do. Do you have a sunroof in your car or a moonroof in your car? Your scalp's probably sunburned. Or if they say, my scalp is sunburned because I went camping or I was at the beach, whatever the case may be, it probably needs some calming. My scalp itches after color. We all know that color is different to everyone, just like anything that we would put on our skin reacts different with me, with you, with everyone. Some of us have more sensitive skin than others. So some people just naturally are itchy after they have color. So calming is a great offering and a great service to provide, which we'll talk about the last bullet point. My scalp is always itchy. So perfect for someone to use every other day or even just have the super active to keep and use. I love to create a relaxing experience in the shower. And as we all know, that NaturalTech has beautiful aromatherapy properties to it. So if you have someone who's just like, I have a really stressful job. One of my friends is a nurse and she works in ICU right now. And she was like, at the end of the day, I'm so exhausted and I just need to know what to do for myself. So I sent her to one of our Davina salons here in town. I'm like, get calming and just use that in the shower because it will create like a calming sensory experience. She did that and she absolutely loves it. So that's something that you could do in the salon. If you look at the last point, a calming color service for you today. So for those people who say, I'm sensitive to color, and is there anything that we can do? Of course, you can use calming shampoo to shampoo them after their color, and you could use the calming super active on their scalp at the chair, and it will immediately calm down any type of sensitivity. And it will also eliminate any redness. So as a colorist, if you're doing on scalp bleaches with progress and tolerance, then following up with calming super active afterwards helps to eliminate any of that kind of pink that you may get from on scalp bleach with people who have sensitive skin, and also calm down the irritation. People who need an everyday shampoo, calming can be an everyday shampoo. So if they love the smell of it, that can certainly be for them. And then I have bad dandruff and my scalp gets irritated. So when we think of NaturalTech, we need to think of it not as just, I have to use this family or this family or this family. You can integrate any product from any of the families into a customized regimen to meet the client's needs. So in this case, if someone has really bad dandruff, let's say, for example, they have really bad oily dandruff, calming not only will calm down some of the irritation that happens from that, but it will also help to keep the scalp calm. And in the use of another product can actually help to calm down when the scalp is producing too much sebum. So we'll talk about that in a minute. So I hope you guys are kind of seeing how they can kind of tie together. So when we look at NaturalTech, we may say, well, you know, calming really isn't a treatment. Sure it is. If it's put into a customized regimen for a client, then it can certainly be a treatment, where in some cases it may need to be utilized more often or maybe seen as more of a retail product. You can certainly introduce these different families by doing a customized regimen treatment in the salon. So with calming, again, we have the shampoo and we have the super active, and the nozzle on the super active is really nice. And most of the super actives, when you apply them to the hair, even if the hair is dry, like even if it's styled and it's the second or third day, they absorb nicely into the scalp and they don't leave any kind of oily or like wet look to the hair at all. So very lightweight, very effective. And this nozzle helps you get to right to where you're having the issue. And this can be used every day, however many times a week that you prefer. I think we're all familiar with this one. It doesn't matter how many times I shampoo, my hair is always oily. And we're not talking about the people who maybe, because I know a lot of people are going longer in between shampooing now, especially with things like hair refresher and things like that to prolong our hairstyles. But we're talking about people who say, my hair never seems clean. I could shampoo my hair 5 times and the water would still bead off of my hair. Or when I blow dry my hair, there's smoke that comes off of my hair. Or when I dry my hair, there's a weird smell. Sometimes it can even smell like mildew because the scalp and the hair is never fully drying because of the amount of oil that is on the scalp and hair. So, you know, being aware of those things when your client comes in. If you have a client who comes in and she's always got her hair in a top knot or a bun, and and you let their hair down and their hair is still wet and their scalp is still damp, my first question is, when did you shampoo your hair? Oh, I did it yesterday. Okay, your scalp and your hair still is not dry, and that's a breeding ground for bacteria. And sometimes our scalp tries to fight that bacteria or reaction with it with producing oil to keep it away, right? So making sure that we're aware of those things that we're seeing. If you're noticing something, ask why that's happening. Ask when they shampooed their hair. Ask if the irritated area that you see on their scalp is uncomfortable for them. Ask if they've noticed that they have, oily hair. Ask if you are aware that you have a little bit of dandruff, right? Ask the questions. And if they do have oily dandruff with rebalancing is a lovely partner for purifying, because as we know, purifying helps with both dry dandruff and with oily dandruff. So if you have a client who has oily dandruff, then not only do you want to eliminate that dandruff, but you also want to stop the overproduction of oil that's feeding that fungus. So purifying goes beautifully with rebalancing. And of course, this is a very simple one. It's just a shampoo, but it is very powerful, very performance driven. And after just one shampoo, you'll notice a difference in that oil buildup that's on the scalp. So a lot of people, going back just to one thing, my teenager has oily hair, right? We see that a lot with teenagers because they're going through puberty. They're having issues with maybe acne or cystic acne. And usually whatever's happening on the face is happening on the scalp too, because they're married, they're right there together. Our hair pulls a lot of what's going on with the scalp away from the scalp. So we translate that as being something that's going on with our hair instead of the scalp being the culprit and what's going on with our hair being the side effect of that. So rebalancing would be great for teenagers that are experiencing that oily skin and oily scalp. I used to hear all the time from my clients, my daughter or my son just does not know how to shampoo their hair. How many of you guys have heard that? They just don't know how to shampoo their hair. They're not getting it clean enough. Maybe they do know how to shampoo their hair. Maybe it's not the shampoo action that they are using to cleanse their hair. Maybe they need a more effective shampoo to address the issue that they're having with their scalp. So it's a little bit of a different conversation. Who doesn't need nourishing? No one. Everyone needs nourishing. So, in my humble opinion, every single person needs nourishing in some way. So bleach and tones, right? Any bleach and tones that I had in between their bleach and tone service, they had to come in for a nourishing treatment, period. There was no question about it, and that was discussed with them in their first consultation when they stated, I want to be as blonde can be, or whatever that conversation was. Great. I can help to get you there, but you're going to have to help me maintain it. So you're going to go home with nourishing shampoo, with hair building pack, vegetarian miracle, whatever the case may be, keratin sealer, but you're also going to come in between your bleaching service, and you're going to have a keratin wonder, keratin booster treatment. So not only did it provide them with beautifully healthy platinum blonde hair, but it also provided a really strong canvas for me to work on. Our clients are demanding, and they can be. They have a request, and they are trusting us as colorists and hairdressers to be able to do that. And if something else needs to happen outside of that color service, then we as the professional have to communicate that. So you're a natural level 5 and you want to be level 11 or 12, great. We're going to have to work together, and I will be able to do my work better and get you to that desired end result if you are helping me along by taking excellent care of your hair at home and in between your services. So I want my hair to get longer. That's nourishing. A lot of people are like, oh, you know what? My hair just doesn't seem to grow, but yet they've got an inch of regrowth. So their hair is growing, but they're not maintaining their ends. So utilizing nourishing with keratin sealer, with hair building pack will definitely help. With the masks for sure once a week. My hair just feels really dry. If you've already got them using Momo, that's not enough. If they're still saying my hair feels really dry. So switching them over to nourishing shampoo and also Vegetarian Miracle would be your best course. Or even having someone who comes in for a weekly blow dry, having them get the treatment then so that you're the one who is in control of how their hair is being cleansed and conditioned and treated. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in the last point. My ends are breaking off. That's nourishing. They need some help. My last colorist damaged my hair. I know that we've all had that experience of having a new client come in and you see not only the color, but also the damage that has been done. Sometimes clients will do something to their own hair in between having their color done and not being happy with it. Sometimes that's where the damage can occur, and then they come to someone to fix it. Nourishing is your best friend in that case as well, to be able to do what you need to do. I colored my hair and damaged it before a toner. So this is something that we don't always do, maybe because of time, but almost every color service these days has some element of correction to it. So, you know, we went through, I don't really want to call it a phase because it's still around, you know, it's still there, maybe not as drastic as it was, but the ombre effect of having the dark and then into the light. Some of them were really drastic and looked more like a dip. But if you're toning, let's say you go through to balance that out and you do some highlights throughout to balance it, and then maybe some low lights through the lighter part just to bring everything together. Those links and ends are not going to tone the same way that this fresher, more compact cuticle on the hair that has not been repeatedly lifted. So doing a Keratin Wonder treatment before a toner is incredible. And Brian Sir, one of our international master trainers, shared that with us, and we did it at a training. And it was really beautiful. The end result is very even. The porosity had been addressed. And so I would recommend for you guys, if you have someone who has been repeatedly bleached, or maybe not even so, maybe they just have fine hair and their hair is a little less tolerant of bleach, then doing a nourishing treatment before your toner will give you a gorgeous end result. Clients that just say, I need a conditioning treatment. I don't know what I need, but I need a conditioning treatment. There's probably something there from nourishing that you can do. And then last but not least, I want to talk about this a little bit, weekly blow dry services. I think that we are seeing this a bit more, maybe not so much right now because some of us aren't blow drying in the salon at all. But when we do start to do that again, there are a few different elements, and I'm going to bring up the product line just so we can have a visual while we go through it. For someone who's coming in who has dry hair, then your regimen could be the shampoo, Vegetarian Miracle conditioner, or mask as a treatment, using the keratin sealer at the ends, and then royal jelly on the scalp, and that could be a treatment. If you have someone whose hair is brittle, then you may want to use the shampoo, hair building pack, or Keratin Wonder Super Active, followed by keratin sealer and the royal jelly on the scalp. If you have someone who comes in and their hair is damaged, then you could do the shampoo, the Keratin Wonder Super Active with the booster included, followed by the Vegetarian Miracle Conditioner or Mask, followed by the Keratin Sealer, and then the Royal Jelly on the scalp. So this system is really meant to address however the hair needs to be nourished. It doesn't mean that you have to use every piece of it. If you do use every piece of it, then the treatment is around 20 minutes, 30 minutes maybe, and then another half hour for a beautiful blow dry. So you're looking at an hour. So in terms of like pricing, I can't really give you all pricing because we're all in different areas and different demographics of salons. But when you have someone come in for a weekly blow dry, you do have the opportunity of taking, let's just say your blow dry is $40, okay? You do have the opportunity of adding anywhere from $25 to, I don't know, up to $75. I used to charge $125 for the full nourishing treatment, and that included a blow dry. So my weekly clients that were paying $50 for a blow dry are now paying $125 for a blow dry and a treatment with minimal addition, maybe 20 extra minutes to the service. But it made quite a difference in what I was bringing home every week, because I had about 2 blow dries a day, 1 to 2 blow dries a day, weekly blow dries. So, you know, if you're adding anywhere from an additional 50, even let's just say an additional 25, okay, if you do the full treatment, it's $25. Then if you do 2 of those a day, it's $50, you know. Starts to add up at the end of the week. If you work, you know, 5 days a week, what is that, $250 times 4, you know, that's a good chunk of money that you could have to put towards that new car or that new house or a vacation. You know, it's there, it's all there. It's sitting on your shelves right now. It's sitting on your back bar right now. It's just there. So use it. Your clients will love it. Some of my weekly blow dries that didn't have damaged hair, I would do the Keratin Sealer, which is new to us, and then the Royal Hair Jelly on their scalp. That took no time because both of those products are left in, and it was an additional $25. So I'm taking no additional time. I'm giving the client a beautiful finish. Once I did that combo just once on a client, they asked for it every single time, and I referred to it as a nourishing supplement. All right, you're coming in for your blow dry next week. Do you want to do a nourishing supplement with it? Yes. Okay, let the front desk know that you're going to have that done. It's no addition in time, but just for price. So lots of opportunity here with this line, you all. I mean, again, who doesn't need nourishing? No one. There's no one that couldn't benefit from nourishing. Even if you're using energizing, right? If you have someone who has hair loss and they're using one of the super actives, you could use the Hair Royal Jelly Super Active on their scalp to create a really nourished environment to support the stimulation that they're getting from energizing. So again, listen to your client and what they're asking you, and then create the very best scenario that you can. Like, think of it in your mind of like, I'm going to design the best package to give them for their hair, because that could be their in-salon treatment that you do. And then they go home with elements of it to maintain in between at home. I just want my hair to have more volume. My hair feels flat. My hair isn't the same as it used to be. It's lifeless. I have volume up here, but no body down here. I wish I had thicker hair for ponytails and buns. I love how people are able to wear their hair in buns, but I just don't feel like I have enough hair. I'm going out tonight. I just had Botox. How many of you guys have clients that come in and say, look, I just had Botox? They're pointing at it. They're proud. They want you to see it. They want you to tell it how great it looks, that their fine lines are gone. And the same thing with, I just got my lips done. What do you think? You know, and they want you to get real close and look in. Maybe not now with masks, but I have heard a few people saying that their client pulled their mask down to show them that they got their lips done. So these things are happening right? They're happening every day, and our clients are having them done. So if you're having Botox to help to rid of fine lines, if you're having your lips done to give a plumper, more supple look, then why not do that for your hair? Why not replump your hair? And with replumping, it has the ability to increase the diameter of the hair. It's cosmetic. It uses hyaluronic acid. It lasts about 6 to 8 shampoos. And then there's the super active retail that you can take home to prolong that treatment that's done in the salon. But it has the ability to increase that diameter of the hair up to 33%. And for me, I have wavy, curly hair texture, but I have fine hair. So when I use replumping, normally without replumping, I can take like one of those little elastic bands around my hair 3 times to really get it secure. But after I use replumping, I can only get the band around it twice. So with the whole 33%, I'm a believer in that because I've experienced that. And for someone who's just wanting some fullness, this is perfect for them. And you could even use it in combination with energizing with the hair thickening tonic, because that actually increases the fiber up to 5%. So if you include the replumping super active with it, then you're not only getting an increase in the fiber, but you're also getting a cosmetic increase in the diameter of the hair. So when someone says they don't have any volume or they wish they had more hair, ping, that's your sign, right? Of what you can use and offer that to them. And then renewing. So my hair isn't the same as it was in my 20s. Anyone over the age of 30 has started to purchase anti-aging skincare and products. So having that conversation that we now have an anti-aging shampoo and conditioner. Anyone purchasing or talking about anti-aging skincare, fillers, Botox, cosmetic surgery, they need to be using renewing to be able to take care of their hair as much and as detailed as they are their face and their body. If someone needs a deep scalp cleansing, there's the Pro Boost that gives a really nice scalp cleanse. So you could even do something like that before an energizing treatment, even though you would want to be careful that you don't do too much deep cleansing before putting on something that's stimulating. You could use the Pro Boost before you do purifying treatment, just to help to cleanse the scalp well before the treatment for dandruff. And then you could also handle it as a renewing supplement for the scalp. So how we talked about, like, let's do a nourishing supplement today while you're in. Let's do a renewing supplement today. So, of course, this line only has 4 products. So it's very easy, simple to use. The Pro Boost is for the deep cleansing of the scalp. And that's in salon only. Then you could send them home with the renewing shampoo, the conditioning treatment, and then the serum super active. So all of this could be done with your weekly blow dries again, and then sent home with your client for home maintenance. And then last but not least, our hair deserves a little self-care and wellness too. So if you have a client that says, I purchased my shampoo and conditioner at the health food store. Okay, they're purchasing their shampoo and conditioner at the health food store because they are wanting to have wellness benefits, right? They're wanting more of a natural approach to what they're doing with their hair. What do I use when I go off of a NaturalTech treatment for a while? This is perfect. Well-being is perfect for them. I just need an everyday shampoo and conditioner, and I love this line. That's misspelled. I love this line. So great. Well-being is perfect for them. Contains echinacea as the super active. So for someone who's like, I take a lot of natural supplements and all that, I just need a daily shampoo and conditioner, this would be great. And then a wellness focused experience in the salon. So you could serve them an echinacea tea. You could do the shampoo with a really nice massage with the conditioner, and following the massages that are designed to go with NaturalTech. And if you have questions about those, if you're an educator, they're located on eAcademy. But there are some really beautiful series of massages that can be done to just bring a little bit more added value and a more relaxing experience to NaturalTech as a whole. So I want to go back to this picture in closing. The house that you see on the left, obviously there's only one house, but on the left, that was the first house that I bought. It was a 100-year-old house, and had all these different colored terracotta tiles on the roof. The house was pink, as you can see. It was a beautiful pink. It needed some TLC. And so I bought this house after I went through a divorce because I just needed something to take care of, in a sense, in order to inadvertently take care of my mind at that time. And I needed something to put my energy into, and I really needed to create something new and just give a little bit of care to something. So I bought this house. I made my down payment with my NaturalTech service dollars, with my NaturalTech service money. And I also paid my mortgage with my NaturalTech money. So when I say to you all that there is a lot of opportunity here with NaturalTech, I say it because I've experienced it and I've done it. And I've been able to do some extraordinary things in my life and make changes in my life just by focusing on NaturalTech. And I want to relay to you all that all it simply is listening to the client, listening for those things. Look at what they're showing you. Ask questions if you have questions. Don't just ask them to yourself, like, what is going on here? Ask them, what are you experiencing with your scalp? Tell me what you're experiencing with your hair. Some really good questions are, what are 2 things that you love about your hair, and what are 2 things you wish you could change about your hair? That opens up an endless conversation going into care of the hair, care of the scalp, and color. And then, so bought a house, paid for a house with NaturalTech service money. And then on the right, this is a picture of me when I was driving through the desert in Texas, because I ended up, when I did the repair, did the work on the house, I sold it, and I used that money to relocate myself to California. And I lived there for about 10 years. Now I live in Michigan. But I would talk all day about NaturalTech because it gave me the opportunity to do 2 things that I wanted to do. And that was to buy my own home and to be able to move to California and experience that. And Davines and NaturalTech were the 2 things that afforded me the ability to do that. So I know that our hour is up, and so I'm not going to keep you guys, but I do want to thank you so very much for being here today. I hope that maybe it's given you some new ideas and some new ways to approach NaturalTech, and maybe not be so fearful of it, and just be aware of all of the different ways that your clients are asking or have asked you for exactly what NaturalTech can provide. So thank you all so much again for your time. Thank you for joining us. This video will be downloaded on Davines Education on our YouTube channel. So if you want to go back and revisit it, or share it with any of your stylist friends, anyone that you think could benefit from it, please do, because NaturalTech is an amazing line. It's performance driven, and it is going to help sustain you and your dreams that maybe you would like to bring to reality and your business behind the chair as a hairdresser. So thank you all so much. Be well, stay safe, and I hope to see all of you very, very soon. Bye.